Hello, this is Jason Hahn again, and I'm here to do my eighth and final speech for this class. In week 6, I gave an informative speech about the legalization of marijuana for medical and recreational use. I would like to go over some of those facts with you today in hopes of persuading you to agree with me that in fact it should be legalized. Cannabis, or marijuana, has been around for an incredibly long time. The earliest known written record of it comes from a Chinese emperor named Shing Nung in 2727 BC. The ancient Greeks and Romans were also known to be familiar with marijuana. When Ramesses II mummy was examined, it was found to have cannabis pollen on it. Ancient Egyptians would use cannabis for things like glaucoma, even though they didn't call it glaucoma, I'm sure. Inflammation, enemas, and cooling the uterus. Most cultures have some references of marijuana in them. In the United States, it was widely used for things such as tetanus, typhus, cholera, rabies, dysentery, alcoholism, opiate addiction, anthrax, leprosy, and many other things. In 1936, that changed. Once aspirin and morphine were discovered, marijuana became illegal to you. The government decided to make it a Schedule I drug. That is a drug that the government has decided is one of the most dangerous drugs. Some other drugs that are Schedule I are heroin, LSD, ecstasy, and peyote. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty confident in saying I've never heard of someone becoming out of their head or violent while smoking pot. Here are some statistics for you. Out of all the accidents in the United States, 31% are caused by alcohol-impaired drivers, while 12% are caused by people who are impaired by pot. I'm not saying that 12% is much better statistic or that I condone people getting high and driving around, but if you're going to enforce the same punishment for them, they should both be legal. And speaking of breaking the law while high, many times you have heard news story about someone that is high committing violent crime or any sort of major crime. I can't think of a single time I've heard of one, although, to be very fair, they might knock over a convenience store to get some munchies. But even that is pretty doubtful. I have heard news stories about people on heroin and LSD committing plenty of crimes though. Yet the federal government still says marijuana is the same class as heroin or LSD. What gives with that? The information can be found at justice.com. Even Dr. Sanjay Gupta, who's in a lot of trouble now, who's also known as America's doctor, stated in an interview with CNN last year that the American people have misled about marijuana and its harmful side effects. You can watch his interview at CNN.com. Now, let's talk about some of the good effects versus the bad effects of pot that they can have on a person. First, I'll list some of the physical harmful effects. These are a rapid heartbeat, increased blood pressure, red eyes, dry mouth, the munchies, don't know if I personally would classify that as being harmful, and a slower reaction time. So far, not seeing anything that can happen with some over-the-counter cold medicine that I've been taking, but I'll keep going. Here are some of the psychological effects. Distorted sense of time, paranoia, magical or random thinking, short-term memory loss and anxiety or depression. Some studies claim that men have a heavy marijuana habit have lower testosterone levels and sperm count. Of course, it should state here that not everyone experiences the psychological effects or the physical ones. But moving on. Let's talk about the good side effects of marijuana. Some of the benefits are to help control epileptic seizures, helps relieve pain and nausea from chemotherapy, helps stimulate the appetite. It has been shown the progression of Alzheimer's and helps the pain of multiple sclerosis. It can help with symptoms of lupus, soothe the tremors of Parkinson's disease, and even help veterans with PTSD. People who are depressed or have high anxiety can smoke pot to help them cope. One study published in the American Journal of Medicine in 2013 was found that people who smoke pot are skinnier than the average person and have a healthier metabolism. It's better for your lungs than cigarettes, and one study shows that it can even improve your lung function over time. Now, just to reiterate a bit here, marijuana is in the same class drug as heroin and LSD. It's illegal in almost all of the U.S. for recreational use, but thankfully, it has become legal in more states for medical use. So smoking pot can give you the same harmful side effects as most over-the-counter cold medicines, and on the flip side of it, it can help alleviate some pretty nasty symptoms of diseases. It can help soothe PTSD, depression, and anxiety. Check out the cdc.gov for more benefits and side effects. But wait, I'm not quite done yet. Here's a little information on the crime rate in Denver, Colorado, since pot became legal for recreational use. They can be found at businessinsider.com. Between January 1st and April 30th, violent crimes and property crimes dropped 10.6% compared to the same time frame the year before. Homicides dropped less than half of the year's levels last year. And car theft has shrunk by over 1/3. Do you know why? Because the criminals were laid back from smoking pot to bother with crime. So let's be serious here. The pros far outweigh the cons in my opinion. The benefits of legalizing marijuana are much better than any other side effects or drawbacks. Thank you for listening to my speech. I hope I have convinced you that legalization of marijuana is a good thing, or at least give you more time to think about the subject. And you can go to these websites for more information. www.justice.gov. Also, you can go to cbslocal.com. You can go to www.cdc.gov. And you can also go to www.businessinsider.com. Thank you. Have a good day.